As of September 2, 2021, ito po ang updated na entry protocols dito sa siyudad ng Baguio. Naglabas po ng order si Mayor Benjamin Magalong na isuspend lahat ng mga non-essential travel sa Baguio City na nanggagaling po sa lahat ng areas regardless of the quarantine classification starting from September 3 to 19, 2021. This is part of the control measures to address the current surge in COVID-19 cases in the city. Ang basic requirements po ng mga essential travelers na pinapayagang pumasok ng Baguio ay number 1, ang negative results of RT-PCR test conducted within 72 hours before entry or fully vaccinated individuals may also present vaccination documents. Considered po kayo na fully vaccinated kung lumampas na po kayo ng 2 weeks from your last dose. On the testing requirements for non-resident, antigen test will no longer be accepted as a testing method for unvaccinated non-resident travelers. Hindi po maaaring papasukin ang mga non-appers or non-authorized persons outside of residence. Ito po ay ang mga turista at ang mga bisita na dadalo ng mga private social functions o kaya naman yung mga taong may transaksyon sa Baguio na maaari namang ipagpaliban o maaaring optional. Ang mga residente ng Baguio ay pinapayagang makapasok at ito po ang mga requirements. Para sa mga fully vaccinated dito sa Baguio City, kailangan po ng QR code na binigay ng hdf.baguio.gov.ph at vaccination QR passport or vaccination certificate na makukuha po sa bakuna.baguio.gov.ph. At syempre, kailangan po ng valid government ID or certificate issued by their barangay as proof of residence. Ito naman po yung mga requirements para sa fully vaccinated in a legitimate facility outside of Baguio. Kailangan pa rin pong kumuha ng QR code sa hdf.baguio.gov.ph. Kailangan po ng COVID-19 domestic vaccination card issued by a legitimate vaccination establishment. Or pag OFW naman, Certificate of Quarantine Completion by the Bureau of Quarantine. At syempre, kailangan ng valid government-issued ID or certificate issued by their barangay as proof of their residence. At syempre, kung residente ka pero hindi ka fully vaccinated, kakailanganin po yung mga basic requirement at syempre yung RT-PCR test conducted within the last 30 days prior to travel. Ikaw naman po ay Baguio worker, pinapayagan ka rin pong pumasok sa Baguio City. Ito ay ang mga tao na hindi residente ng Baguio but nagre-report dito sa Baguio City for the conduct of work, employment, or industry in Baguio City at a daily or weekly periods. Ang pagkakaiba po ng Baguio worker requirement at ang Baguio resident ay ang proof of employment. Maaari po itong employment ID, certificate of employment, professional ID, or any other similar documents. Para po sa mga non-resident government appers on official travel, kakailanganin po ng original or certificate true copy of travel order issued by the head of agency or his or her authorized representative if applicable. Sa mga travelers with medical emergencies, ang mga pasyente at ang kanilang indispensable companions seeking emergency medical aid in Baguio City shall be afforded unhampered passage into the city. Para sa mga travelers for non-emergency medical purposes, aside from the basic needs of QR code, vaccination card, kakailanganin po ng proof of confirmed medical appointment. Ang mga non-resident private appers on official business ay pinapayagan din pong pumasok dito sa Baguio. Kung fully vaccinated po sila sa isang legitimate na facility outside of Baguio City, kailangan lang po syempre ng QR code na inisyo po ng hdf.baguio.gov.ph. At syempre po yung COVID-19 domestic vaccination card issued by the legitimate vaccination establishment or Certificate of Quarantine Completion by the Bureau of Quarantine kung OFW. At kailangan po ng proof of employment, business, or work-related functions in a permitted industry operating in Baguio, indispensable transaction, or enrollment in an educational, instructional, or training institution with permitted face-to-face classes in the city. At syempre, kailangan po ng original or certificate true copy of travel order issued by their head of agency or his or her authorized representative kung applicable po ito sa inyong purpose of travel sa Baguio City. Kung hindi naman po kayo fully vaccinated, instead of the vaccination card, kailangan nyo po mag-undergo ng negative results of antigen or RT-PCR test conducted within 72 hours prior to entry. Kung wala po kayong test result, ay maaari po kayong dumaan sa testing ng Baguio City Central Triage. Ating mga returning OFWs and returning overseas Filipino workers, ito po ang ating documentary requirements. Siyempre, kailangan po ng QR code sa HTF, valid Philippine passport, travel documents issued by Philippine Missions or ACR, iCard, issued by the Bureau of Immigration, whichever is applicable. Valid government-issued ID or certificate issued by the Barangay of Residence as proof of residence in Baguio City. A certificate of quarantine completion issued by the Bureau of Quarantine if applicable. And syempre po, ang negative test results of the most recent RT-PCR test conducted upon arrival in the Philippines if applicable. And for OFWs, the following documents, whichever is applicable, may also be presented. OWA documents, POEA documents, at Seaman's Book. Maraming salamat po at kung meron po kayong mga katanungan, huwag po kayong mag-atubiling mag-comment dyan sa baba o i-contact po ang PIO Bag or i-check nyo po ang Facebook page ni Momshie Jhen. At kung nakatulong po ako sa inyo ngayong araw na ito, sana po huwag nyo kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para po updated kayo sa susunod nating mga travel updates and tourist spots of Baguio and Cordillera. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. Stay safe, be happy, and always keep the faith. Malalampasan din natin ito. Bye! I love you all!